Hello, my name is Melissa Kushnaryev, and today I want to show you guys how to do side lying stretch pose. So this is one of my favorites to help open up the side body and release some of the tension and some of the tightness in the muscles, the intercostal muscles, through the side body. So these muscles are really important. They're in between our ribs, and they help to lift the ribs during the inhale, and they help to draw the rib cage down during the exhale. What happens when these muscles get really tight, our ribs are not really able to properly lift and find full expansion in the inhale and completely draw down and find a complete release during that exhale. So we find that we have problems moving into a full inhale and a full exhale. And one of the huge benefits of restorative yoga is that it gives us an opportunity to really explore some of that expansion and some of that release through some amazing breath work. And through that amazing breath work, we start to tap into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the opposite of our fight or flight mode that we operate in for a lot of our life, the sympathetic nervous system. And the parasympathetic nervous system is where our body really starts to release and relax. We begin to heal. It improves our immune system function. It improves digestion. There's a lot of functions that are really enhanced. And in the times we're living in right now, things are pretty chaotic. And I think it's really important for us to come back to our breath work and to really make sure that we are doing the postures that we need to be doing to allow our body to find that full expansion on the inhale and that complete release on the exhale. All right, so this is our side lying stretch. And you're going to need a few blankets for this one. So I have my yoga blanket. And if you have these blankets, these are fine. These are great. If not, something that's maybe a little more firm would do as well. So I have it here folded in half just once. I'm going to fold it in half this way again. I'm going to bring it down in front of me and fold it in half once more. So we're right here. I'm going to fold again. All right, so it's, I don't know, maybe just under a foot by foot and a half or so. And I've done that with my 4 blankets. So this is kind of where I start with my blankets when I'm practicing. I have them all folded and stored this way. For this one, we're going to take it up, unfold it just once, and fold it the opposite direction. So you have this nice rectangle that's long. And I'm going to do that with 3 blankets. I think I'm going to want 3 blankets for this posture. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. And we have a 4th if we decide we need it. I'm going to move my blocks to the side because I will not be using those. All right, so for this posture, we are going to start with my left hip coming up kind of close to my blankets. And you may find that 3 is too high. You might have to drop down to 2, possibly even 1, depending on what blankets you're using. Slowly begin to bring your midsection down onto the blankets. I'm going to move back just a little bit. Good. So you want to bring your midsection down and allow your arm, your bottom arm, to be something where maybe sort of a pillow of sorts, if you like. Now this is a little bit high for me. I actually want my head to be closer down to the mat. And I'm feeling kind of a little bit of a pinching, which I don't like. So I want to come down 1 blanket. And remember, in restorative yoga, you want to move away from the sensations of pain or even that intense stretching. You really want your body to find some ease and release and relaxation. And this is a posture that I would start class with, maybe even before you're going into breath work, or after you've done a little bit of breath work to kind of warm up, then move into this posture, and then maybe do a little bit more breath work after that if you'd like. But this is one you only hold really for maybe 1 minute to 2 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to come down here, and that feels so much better. Feels nice and relaxing. Okay, and you might find that this is as far as you want to go, which is completely fine. Or you may find that bringing that top arm up and over feels good. And as you do that, you can kind of lift up here, and you'll start to feel a little more stretch through those intercostal muscles on the side. I can take my bottom arm and actually grab this wrist gently draw it away from my body and down. And that allows me to find a little more of a stretch. Now, if I want to go even deeper, I can draw my legs out, and I can take my top leg and draw it forward. And at the same time I'm doing that, I need to also be moving my bottom leg back. So we're not just drawing this top leg forward, we're not just drawing the bottom leg back. They're both moving. And maybe draw your chest back a little bit, find where that stretches. And there it is, I feel it, it feels great. You can kind of roll forward and roll back and just see where you find that opening the most. But we're looking for opening through the side body, right in these muscles. I find it the most when I really engage this upper arm here, kind of drawing it out and gently down. And like I said, maybe a minute to 2 minutes here. And as you sit here, just start to inhale even a little bit deeper. And exhale. This is a part of our body that we really do not stretch very often. Okay, and then to come out of it, I'm going to draw that top arm down in front of me. I'm going to bring my legs in. So I'm finding a little bit of a fetal position here. And then I'm just gently going to draw myself up and move to the other side. So I'll set up the exact same way. Bring my blankets down. I like to have the same edge. So instead of having the frayed edge up against me, just to have it feel as symmetrical as possible, I like to have that same edge right there. Bring the body relatively close and just start to draw yourself down. And again, you probably will be using the same height from one side to the other. So it might feel different. You might feel more of a stretch on one side to the other, but we are trying to find some balance here. So try to use the same height. All right, and then the same thing with the arms. That top arm can come up. And I'm just using this bottom hand. You can't really see, it's off the video. Using the bottom hand. Pull that wrist away and then down. On this side, I feel a lot more tension through those muscles in my side body. And then just like I did on the other side with my legs, I'll draw my legs out. Top leg comes forward, bottom leg comes back. And again, maybe just play with your upper body, rolling it a little bit forward, a little bit back, just to find that sweet spot. And then tap into that breath. Drawing out the inhales, releasing those exhales. And again, just a minute to 2 minutes. Some people do it as short as 30 seconds. So a little bit more of a warm-up for class, like I said. Good, and then when you're ready, you've done equal on both sides. Bring that hand down, draw the legs in, and slowly bring yourself up. Good, and another great way to stretch these muscles when you're doing some seated stretches, before I begin to really get into the restorative postures in my classes, I like to do a warm-up of the spine. So there's some cat-cows that I always do, a few gentle twists, just so we're finding movement through our spine in all the 6 different ways that your spine moves. The other one is this stretch through the side. So I also get into the intercostal muscles this way. The lying down stretch is a little more of a restorative posture though, so I think it fits in nicely with restorative classes. But if you're doing the seated version, you really have to make sure you're keeping that hip planted down. It wants to pop up, so you draw that hip down, and on the inhale you reach up, and on the exhale you come down. Good, so you hold it the same for each side, and then you can start to move with the breath if you want to find a little bit of movement. We don't usually find too much movement in our restorative classes, but this is a nice little warm up, another way to just find some space in between those ribs and release those muscles. And then just noticing the difference between the inhale and the exhale before you did that stretch and after you did that stretch. Thanks for joining me. Like I said, my name is Melissa, and that was a little bit of a run through on your side lying stretch. Thank you.